So I have both of the most talked about 360 cameras on the market right now, both the Insta360 X5 as well as the DJI Osmo 360. Since I have both of these incredible 360 cameras, why not see how the actual footage quality compares when you put them through real world tests? Now, to be completely transparent with you guys, this video is brought to you by DJI. So in order to keep things above board, I'm gonna show you guys side-by-side tests up front so that you can make your own informed decisions. And then at the end of the video, that's where I will share my honest opinions between these two cameras. But yes, this video is sponsored by DJI. Let's actually do some quick specs before we dive too far into this video, starting with the Insta360 X5, which has a dual 1 and 1.28 inch sensor. It can do video up to 8K 30 frames per second, and the X5 has a really solid reputation for strong stabilization. The Osmo 360 also has some really strong specs, being able to record up to 8K up to 50 frames per second, has a dual 1-inch sensor, and one of my favorite things is that it has built-in internal storage, so if you forget your micro SD card, well, you can actually still film with it. Both of these cameras have minor feature differences that I'm not particularly going to be getting into because I want to talk about the major difference, or show off the major difference between these two cameras, and that is that the Osmo 360 can record 10-bit log footage, whereas the Insta360 X5 is limited to 8-bit log footage. Now the question is does that make an actual difference? That's yet to be determined. Let's go ahead and get into the side-by-side video test so that you guys can make a judgment for yourself. So now what I'm curious about is how do these different action cameras sound? And yeah, so let's go ahead and see, because a lot of folks buy these things and they end up wanting to vlog with them. Hop on the e-bike, kind of see how this thing sounds. Also, you'll just see this thing wiggle waggle around, but this should give it some wind, which is good. Once we introduce some wind noise into this, again, I'm not really expecting these things to sound incredible, but it would be pretty awesome if they sounded at least decent, because decent is usable. So I don't know, how does this camera sound right now? Okay, so now you guys have actually looked at and hopefully processed your own opinions when it comes to these two. First thing I want to talk about is going to be battery life. I did find that the DJI died relatively faster than the X5. That is definitely because the battery on the Insta360 X5 is 2400 milliamp hours, whereas the DJI Osmo 360 is 1950 milliamp hours. That's probably where that difference is coming from. Now, in terms of the actual build quality and design of these things, I'm gonna say that they're reasonably comparable. One is taller than the other. I actually think I prefer the more square format of this. It kind of just gives it more of a lower profile than this. But in terms of the actual material and how things feel, the X5 has like a really chunky battery that feels really good. The buttons on them both feel great. Like in terms of build quality, I don't think you can go wrong with either of these two cameras. For me, it's gonna come down to the 10-bit versus 8-bit, because what I do, I'm looking for the most amount of quality I can get out of any of my camera equipment. So the fact that there is a comparable 360 camera that can film in 10-bit color rather than 8-bit color, my personal preference is going to definitely favor that. And I don't know if you guys felt the same way after looking at the side-by-side color tests, That being said, I have found that the Insta360's app is a little bit more developed than the one for DJI. That does kind of make sense when you think about it, because the Osmo 360, this is really DJI's first attempt, and Insta360 has been doing this for a while. Also, I did find that Insta360 has a few extra modes and features like tacked into this thing, which are definitely pretty cool, but they're not something that I'm going to be using very often personally. And for me, 10-bit is something that I'm going to be using every single day that I use this camera, so that's a little more important to me. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.